Finally. So this is gonna be relatively in depth. So this is Nasdaq. This is where I'm gonna start now. I'm gonna go into a much higher time frame. I'm gonna start it all the way from the weekly. So on the weekly, I can see that I'm only gonna touch on the recent stuff. You can see that we had our rejection right here. So this was our area of demand right here. The biggest order block sits at this point. It's very easy to spot. The biggest order block sits at this point. That's an order block by the banks, or rather the biggest shareholders on Nasdaq. The biggest order block sits here, right? Now going on to a much lower time frame, you can see that once we cleared everything on the daily, there's a bit noisy now. Let me just pause this. I need to pause this. How do I go about it? I need to pause this. So this is what's happening. As I said, that the biggest order block sits at this point. Let me use just for a change. I need to have what's mine. I need to be unique. What can I use? Let me use this. How do I move this thing now? Now here. So the biggest order block sits right here where there is a cross. That is the cross for the biggest order block. What you'll notice with order blocks is that after they've been established, the market never comes, price never comes back to that area again, right? So what you can clearly see from now is that after this, we clearly had our upside move, right? So what happened from here was that I don't need this. Let me just get rid of it. After this, we moved up, came back down, and continued going up. So we have a channel now. So with this kind of channel, we're expecting further pushes to the upside, all the way to this area here. You can still capitalize on buys. The thing is, where do we catch our buys, right? Going on to a much lower time frame, this is what's happening. So I think I kind of had this right because of I saw that we had already breached this part and I'm expecting a further push to the upside. But there had not been any retest at this point, so it was not really a safe buy, you know. So far as the entry point, because of if you enter right around let's see this area thinking that you wanna go all the way up, you were mistaken. So the market retraced back to retest this trend line here. To retest this trend line, let me just add this. Do I find this stop sign? To retest this area here, that trend line there, and then continued to go up aggressively and then breaking this. Can see that we are kind of having some kind of a retest here, and then you're expecting a further push to the upside. I do not know if further will come and retest again, but if you come and retest, it would be a clear area for buys, right? When we hold for this level here, right? Now, that is everything on Nasdaq. That is all we need to know at this point. Apart from that, we can see that I think rather that our downtrend has come to an end, mainly because we have had what I can say is a sufficient number of touches. Touch this area, I'm gonna clone this cross. I wanted to clone this, that touch, this touch, and these ones to the left, right? So from here on, I'm expecting a further move to the upside, right? Forget about this part. I don't think it helps us much at this point. I don't really like focusing on such things, although initially I used to be kind of stressed out because I often would ask myself, what am I implying if I'm leaving out this kind of areas? I think these are just there for noise. Apart from that, they really serve no purpose. Can't focus much on this part. It does not give me anything that I can use to my advantage. I'm talking about this part here, the one in the triangle. Apart from it being a confusion, I do not know what to make of it. So I'm gonna neglect this part. Hence, I have my trend line below this triangle. So this triangle intercepts also this trend line resistance, the overall trend line resistance. So currently, this is what I'm having. The thing is, do I start to sell immediately at this? Do I start to buy immediately here? Or, okay, this is what I'm trying to say. If I buy immediately here, let me remove these lines. There's just a lot of them. If I buy immediately here, let's say I'm putting, this is my horizontal line. This is what I'm buying. Let me just black and make it dark blue. Let's see how it's gonna look. Yeah, it's fine, it's not bad. So let's say if I buy here, then it means I've considered this candlestick my retest. What I'm not sure about is that is this sufficient enough to declare it a retest? A fully fledged candlestick that is worthy of being part of the retest that I'm thinking about. Because of the retest that I was looking for, kind of looking for it to come and touch this. If in fact not just touch, maybe breach below some kind of a fake in and then go out again. That is what I was kind of looking for. So if I go with the fact that this is considered a touch, then it means I'm safe to enter my buys at this point. But again, it also means that I'm gonna have to place my stop loss below the very same candlestick that I'm talking about. You see, so in terms of peak movement, let's see how much is it. That's about 656. I don't have to measure it. I really don't have to measure it, but it's fine. So this is about 683 683 points downwards, right? But with a profit potential of 5.6, 5,600, right? So that is currently what I'm seeing. It is as easy as that. Buys are valid on Nasdaq at this point. We are confirmed for further upside movement. As for US30, something weird has been happening. Usually because of I use correlation a lot. In this case, it was a bit tricky. Why am I saying that? Nasdaq, a lot of times what I normally see on my side is that Nasdaq leads at the forefront. Whenever Nasdaq starts to buy, US30 will follow. In this case, US30 has been buying for quite a long time. And the thing is, with US30, the daily candlesticks are all I think almost all of them are looking up. Let me just utilize my Okay. I think I'll just take a view. I'll just scan this. I'll come back to this. Definitely come back to this. This is US30 and I want to show you guys something. So this is US30, right? This is US30, the daily time frame, right? With US30, look at the candlesticks. Look at the candlesticks. This is a daily. Keep that in mind. From here, touching our order block, going up. These are daily candlesticks. There's a very huge wick here, a very tall wick, going up, going up, going up, going up. Let me adjust the focus. It's candlesticks. Green, 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 green. Some bit of red downward. Green, 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 green. Some bit of red. Green, 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 green. You see what I'm talking about? So this is very aggressive according to me. And measuring this gradient, it's almost vertical, you know. So this is a very aggressive buy all the way from this point. Let me see when this started happening. Let me make use of my crosshair. So my crosshair says we started buying US30 on the 14th of October. 14th of October. Here is the date there. The 14th of October, right? So considering that it's on the 14th all the way up, considering this whole peep movement, again making use of my crosshair, it's equivalent to about 50,500 worth of peep movement alone. Usually this should be Nasdaq, and what is happening on Nasdaq should be happening on US30. In this case, it's vice versa. So I'm wondering which one now has more catching up to do. Is Nasdaq having much more catching up to do, or US30? So if we can go to trading view and start to compare these two indices, I'm wondering what I will see in this case. A very tricky situation indeed. But what I know and what I've done research on is that US30, because of it consists of a lot of tech stocks. Nasdaq considers a number of other things. I'm thinking it has more to do with that. Remember that they're not really the same thing. You know, they are relatively different. Huge vast differences on them. I did note that. Kind of looked it up on Investopedia and everything became quite apparent. So I was kind of okay, it kind of makes sense as to what is happening. So in this case, then I might say that Nasdaq in this case will follow US30. So Nasdaq, this is only the 4-hour time frame on Nasdaq. It's confirmed. This is Nasdaq Nas100 4-hour time frame. This is only the 4-hour time frame on Nasdaq. So the only buy movement that we have had, it's starting only from this point. I'll just use the stop sign. It's from here. Okay, what's happening now? This thing. So the buy movement is from this stop sign here. From this stop sign all the way to this point, which is relatively small. Measuring it with my crosshair again, if I caught this buy, I would I would be making something like 11 12,000, which is about I think 4.5 times lesser than what US30 has already moved at this point. So I'm kind of looking at it very closely. I'm looking at it very, 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 very closely. Again, one thing to consider again is that US30 has already reached both overall trendline resistances. Starting from here, Oh, now that I'm already touching on US data, I might as well go on with what I've wanted to talk about. Let me clone this. Okay, I'll use another stop sign here, another stop sign here. Now what I'll clone from this one. How am I want to balance this out? I'm typing this. It's definitely on the phone. Just taking chances here. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Just bring this one down here. It doesn't really matter that much. So let me just go back a bit. Here is what I was talking about. The biggest order block on Dow Industrial. Very huge supply, well, demand order block. This is a very huge demand block. I don't know what's happening with my demand block because of it has a middle median line. It has a middle median line. So this dotted line on the middle is the median line. Going all the way to the left, it confirms that it's a middle median line because I can see that there's a rejection here. There's a rejection again here. Again, a couple of other rejections. So this is an order block, the biggest of the kind that I've seen by far. And again, this is just my thinking, what I'm basically I'm trying to piece together. So after this, because I can see already that there wasn't any much movement here at this point here. There was a lot of confusion here. There was a lot of playing around, Only at this point, it started to move up. Again, we went back down for final clearance. Just when we thought we are done, went back down to spike some more. Then at this point, continued going up. So giving us this double bottom here. In fact, I need to clone this part here. Or maybe let me just take this one out. So this second course confirms that we had our double bottom, then giving us this push to the upside. I'm talking about this push here all the way to this point. Right, a very nice move, one I would have loved to be a part of. Very interesting indeed. Outside of that, this is what I'm having currently. This is what's starting to bother me now, because on US30 we are here. You can see that we have touched. Let me just go into a much lower time frame. This is the 4-hour time frame. This is what's happening. You can see clearly that I think I might have to clone. There's this cross here at this point. We had a touch. We broke out right at this point. After breaking out, came back for a retest. This is not a full retest. I don't know if I've drawn my trend lines not correctly, but this here is really tricky. Really tricky. Again, much lower time frame. This is the 1 hour now. Things are still not making any sense. We broke out, broke back in, broke out, kind of a retest, went back up, broke back in, break out. Now what? clearly can understand what's happening here. There's a possibility though that we are fully done with ourselves, with our downtrend. Now we are starting an uptrend. What does that mean? Now that we are starting an uptrend, we need to adjust our channel. Our channel need not be focused on a downtrend anymore. So it means that we gotta establish now other reversal points, but that are to the upside. This is what I mean. Maybe start erasing these other ones, especially this one. Let's see if I take out this one. Let me see. Maybe something like this. It means I need to remove this one. So from here I can see, okay, this is clearly what's happening. And look, kind of starts to make sense now. This is what I can call I need to clone these things again, 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 again. So that is what now I'm seeing. So these are just my course. I'm gonna put one here. I'm gonna put another one here. I'm gonna put another one right here. Another one right here. Another one right here. Another one right here. Those are just my touches, right? Those are just my touches. Remember the reason that I'm changed my structure. It is because we have hit the main demand area and we've went up aggressively. This for me is enough to declare a change of character. So again, now that that's the case, hence I'm saying Nasdaq in this case should start following US30, meaning and implying that from now all the way to next year, we are looking bullish again on Nasdaq. Finally, again, we are starting to look for buys on Nasdaq. Right. So this was clearly my last established, well-established support zone before going again up, again. Now that we are seeing something like this, it has become clear that okay, this is the case that we are dealing with, right? So everything now kind of makes sense. So from here on, I'm expecting further buys on US30, although buying here would be like buying in the middle of nowhere. But again, I'm expecting it for it to come here before we can start selling again. And bear in mind, these are not long-term sells, right? I'm only expecting US30 to sell when you get here, come back here and give us a further push to the upside. This gradient here is way too steep, way too steep. As we go up, we need to establish higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. For now, we are looking to establish a higher high at this point here. Look how steep it is. It's super steep. I might not be surprised if we start to correct at this point. Before further pushing again up, this is what I mean. I can't draw here, but something like this and then continue going up, right? So this is what it looks like. So this is a daily candlestick already. So I'm looking for a filler candlestick at this point to open on the positive because of the this is what happened. We have the open candlestick is at 33793.7. The low of this candlestick is 334. Hey you, what's happening now? The low of this candlestick is 33416.6 at the lowest, this candlestick. At the highest, it is 33991.6. You could have traded this candlestick alone. I could have traded this candlestick alone, right? Because I couldn't, I'm now gonna catch the next buy entry point, the next buy opportunities at this point. Continue with us going up. It is as clear as that. This is one concept that I will embrace forever. It's awesome to look at the market and spot new things, other things that are not so usual. Again, on Nasdaq, we are looking for buys. I confirm that. So this is how my structure is currently looking on Nasdaq. So if only we could establish what I can call a retracement back at this point, maybe touch this point, then I'll be good. If not, then it means I've drawn this resistance here. That's what I'm talking. Rabi, sharp. This resistance here, the one that's crossed out. I might have drawn it inaccurately. Let me try to draw it accurately and see what I'll get. Maybe try to cater for this point here. For this point. Because I can see that this candlestick doesn't touch this point. So let's see if maybe I might have drawn it somewhat incorrectly. Maybe put it somewhere here and then adjust it up a bit. Maybe something like that. So that maybe I can see that. But if I'm doing that, this is what's happening on the side. Which is kind of cool, which is not that bad. But if that's the case, then it implies that I've already made my touch on Nasdaq. Maybe I need to wait for another touch on a 4-hour time frame. But clearly, to me, this is what I'm seeing, and which I'm confident enough that I'm done and I'm looking for my buys. So this area here, I'll stagger my way through with my buys. I might perhaps enter buys here and then let it run. If it comes back down and takes me out, it's all cool. If we break back in, I'll look for more buys. And if it takes me out again, maybe I'll buy at this, what I can maybe call the next support, the previous support area, maybe here, right? Then that's when I can safely say that they're going up for buys. So what I mean is that the market might move from there to there before going up to our anticipated direction. In bulls and bears, jovial cadence group, Godspeed.